Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everyone had a great week and I hope that you are having an even better weekend. All right, we're going to get straight to today's show. The title is Be Patient With Me, and the topic is the beauty of slow burn storylines, okay? So, there's something magical about a slow burn story that takes time to unravel because it invites you to settle in. And then at the end, you are rewarded for your patience, okay, with a rich, unforgettable experience. So, these stories, they may not grip you right away. They might even frustrate you a little. But like a good cup of coffee or a sunrise that reveals itself inch by inch, they're worth the wait, right? So the phrase, be patient with me, perfectly summarizes these narratives because they ask for trust. Trust in the world building, trust in the characters, and trust that the payoff will be worth every moment that you invest in it, okay? And when it comes, it often leaves you breathless, realizing that it's not just the ending that matters, but the journey itself, okay? So here's why slow burn storylines are often the best you'll ever read. First of all, they have those deeply layered characters. Slow burn characters, they take the time to craft those multi-dimensional characters, okay? Because they don't give you everything at once. And I know we hate that, right? Instead, they reveal layers over time. And in doing so, you get to watch your characters grow. You get to see them struggle, and then you get to see them evolve, okay? Becoming people that you actually care about. So when there are those defining moments, they hit just a little bit harder because you've been with them through their quiet moments too, right? So now let's talk about that immersive world building, okay? Some stories, they take time building the worlds. And I know that a lot of us, we don't like having to wait, but sometimes it's necessary, okay? And, with this slow pacing, what it does is it truly allows you to feel absorbed, right? So, whether it's one of those fantasy worlds or, a major city or just a quiet rural place, that slow unraveling, it lets you live in the setting rather than just passing through, okay? So the next thing is that heightened emotional impact, okay? Because wow, when you have a story that has that emotional impact that takes you up there, that is something great. And you only get that when a storyline takes its time. Those emotional payoffs, they actually feel earned, right? So, you've been through the struggles and then and the longing and then that anticipation alongside those characters. You've gone through all of that together. So having that final triumphant moment of love or closure, it feels all the sweeter because guess what? You waited for it. Okay. So now let's talk about some life lessons in patience. Slow burn storylines, they teach us something that we often forget in our fast-paced world, right? And that thing is that patience is a virtue. It really, truly is, because it reminds us that the best things in life, they take time, right? And when you're understanding someone's heart, or them achieving a dream, or just growing into their potential, that's a life lesson in patience. Okay. So I think the fifth thing we want to talk about is how the journey becomes the reward. Okay. Because we all love those sweet rewards, right? So, those slow burn stories, they actually give that to you, because the journey, it often becomes just that more meaningful than the destination. Okay. I don't need to say that again, right? All right. So, you're not just waiting for the big twist in a story, or even, that grand finale. What you're doing is you're savoring those quiet conversations, those small victories, and then the subtle shifts in those relationships. All that, it becomes a reward because you've been on the journey with the character. Okay. So now let's talk about why we love slow burn stories. I know everybody does not, a lot of people, and me, myself, sometimes included, I love those fast-paced stories, but then I also love those slow burn stories, and I've read a ton of them, and so glad that I didn't give up on the story, because it was actually going somewhere. It just took time to get there. Okay. So, at their heart, those slow burn stories, they often reflect real life, don't they? And in reality, most of our best experiences, they took some time to get there, right? So, like building those relationships and then achieving all of the goals that we have set for ourselves. And then too, finding that personal growth, all of those are journeys. All of those are slow burn stories. Okay. It's just not involved in fictional characters, but also in real life. All right. So the fictional stories is, it's like a test. If you can get through that test, then it will help you get through some of those real life journeys that start out slow, but then they build, momentum as they go along. So those things are very, very much important. And so are these stories that remind us that there is beauty in taking things slowly and allowing ourselves to actually experience, all of those ups and downs of a journey completely, right? I think it's so important to know and to appreciate all stories, but especially those slow burn stories that that maybe it takes a while to actually build, to get to the action or the crust of the matter. My voice is trying to go out on me. Hold on a second. I'm going to take a sip. All right. That's just what I needed. All right. So now back to what I was saying. They help us to experience the complete and all of those essential essence that come along with those slow burn stories. It may take a while to actually get to the point, but sometimes it's worth waiting for. I don't want to rush through anything, and I especially don't want to rush through a good story, because you might miss something if you do that. So, and like I said, I've read a ton of slow burn stories where, I'm like, okay, so where is this going? I need to get to the real issues, and you're in a hurry to get to the end. And then, when it's one of those slow burn stories and then you get to the end, it's like, oh, wait a minute, that went too fast. Let me go back. I've done that. I've read a book and I'm so sad when I get to the end of it. Because I wanted to rush to get to the end and didn't appreciate everything that came along on that journey. So we need to, to revel in slow burn stories. Don't give up on them because they are most truly worth the wait. Okay, so just remember that the next time you pick up a book and you're reading it and it starts out slow, but usually when books start out slow, they pick up momentum as they go along because they're trying to tell you something, trying to show you something. They want you to discover something along the way. And if they rush to the point, then, it's just a waste. It's like, okay, so, what was that about? But when they start out slow, trust me, they will pick up momentum and you will get it as you go along. All right. So the next time that you pick up a book that whispers and, be patient with me, you need to lean into it. Okay. You need to trust it. And then you need to give it your time and attention. Just like I said, you might discover that it is the best thing that you ever read. Okay. So, just tell me, what are some of your favorite slow burn stories? If you've read a book or a series that started slowly but became one of your all-time favorites, then, you can share those recommendations, in the comments because, I'm always looking for my next be patient with me masterpiece. Okay. So just remember that to listen, like, and share. Because that is so important. Tell me the things that you like about Book Chat and the things that you don't like about Book Chat. If I move too slow for you, or if I'm getting to going too fast for you, let me know. All right. But in the meanwhile, I do want to share a few of my favorite slow burn stories with you, or series with you. And I think one of my favorite all-time series is Outlander. By Diana Gabaldon. There are 9 books in that series, and she's done some offshoots of Outlander as well. But if you just check out the main series, I think you will love it. You will appreciate that story. You will appreciate that journey because I said it starts out slow, but it picks up momentum as it goes along, and it is historical fiction. So if you're into that, then you would definitely appreciate that story. And if you are one of those people who you do know that it is a series on Starz, and I think it's also on Netflix, you may want to do yourself a favor and actually read the series first and then watch the episodes. Okay, the television series is phenomenal. I love it. But, just do yourself a favor and read the book first. Okay, and also tell those who you care about the most how you feel about them today, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say it. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. And until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.